these decisions, you need to fully commit. I've worked since the kids were born. It's still, of course, you don't want to miss things, but it's important. I'm a fourth generation farmer and my husband's third generation. Around 18 months ago, we sold 800 tonne of wheat. We got to 30 days, called the grain buyer, asked where the payment was. They said, we'll pay you tomorrow. In fact, that didn't happen and they stopped taking our phone calls. Now, we're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars and it has flow-on impacts to our business and then also really to the broader community as well.
Growing up a farm, you sort of understand the challenges of good and bad years, and when it's bad, it's really bad.
This is where we grew up. These are real problems that we've seen in family and friends, these payment system failing farmers, and this is something that Naomi has lived.
What we discovered was that this was a concern for farmers.
The outlook for the next 3 months is quite dry. You still need rain to obviously get the crop up, but I'll just do what I want to do every year and take what I get.
What would you say your biggest risk or challenge would be?
Try to find how to sell it, make sure you're comfortable who you're selling to, what their payment terms are, what their reputation is. Just the way things have been over the last probably decade in the grain industry. There's always consolidation and people going in and out of business, and you've always got to make sure you've got enough cash in the bank to pay the bills, just so you don't have all the eggs in one basket in case someone goes belly up and then you get caught.
This is a much bigger problem than what we were just facing on our farms, and that's really where FarmPay started for us. And if you solve a problem for a farmer locally, it's easily scalable and something that would apply much further than the borders of Australia.
Everyone is familiar with the concept of overnight success, but a lot of people don't understand that the overnight success journey is actually over 10 years, right? So it's 10 years of slogging day in and day out. And then at the end of 10 years, I'm like, oh, we had this overnight success, right? I want the founders to have the discipline about saying, this is a serious problem and a serious business we're about to solve. But let's be diligent in what growth means before we start taking over the world.
You really need to give it everything, and there's a lot of hard work. People think that travelling and getting to be in Sydney all the time, or Melbourne, or here or there, but it's not glamorous, I think it is work. When I'm away, it's work and I'm focused.
You will not get yesterday again. You will not have today again. So you really need to focus on the priority things when you're growing a company. It's really my pleasure to be here because I have sat in your chair. Got to start with the end in mind. Are you building a company that's going to grow, that's going to be an asset? Are you building a company that you're going to leave to your kids so you actually create a family legacy? Those are way different decisions that you make depending on which outcomes that you want. I don't know how else to say that if you are really wanting to build a company that's going to make a difference and grow for a period of time, you do have to really focus and give up a lot of stuff. You've got to stand in the shoes of the customer and look at the product or the service or the company or the relationship that you're developing.
Who do you serve? Who do you get out of bed to serve? You can't play that long game without believing that you have a pivotal role to play in shaping the economy that you are operating in. How can you describe why you're different from everybody else? And if your product isn't different enough right now, I want to say start again, but I don't want to break your little hearts. But if you don't have that uniquely defensible position from the get-go, you won't get to build on the back of it.
We know what a huge opportunity it is, but what's really important is that we drive forward and get our MVP, then we focus on the scalability. So we are absolutely aware of the huge opportunities, but my job as CEO is to make sure we are focused on what we need to deliver as well in the immediate.
So they're having conversation with potential pilot customers now because you want their customers to believe in them and say, yeah, we can trust you guys and you can get it done. So I've asked them to go to those meetings together. They're able to show them like we bring a wealth of knowledge in the farming industry as well as the corporate industries. They have to feel comfortable in delegating and letting go, then that allows them to scale as an organization.
People ask me all the time, how do you do it? I'm not Superwoman, and I always say to people, I'm very honest, I say, I'm not doing this by myself. I've got a whole team of family behind me. Luke's experience in agriculture and all things farming is incredible, and it's a huge benefit for me to be able to bounce ideas.
We complement each other quite well, so I think doing this has been fantastic. The bigger picture stuff and looking forward in the future, I think Naomi's very good at that. Her natural leadership and ability to visualise the future is very impressive, really.
So I'm really impressed and inspired by Naomi. She's very grounded, true to herself, true to her community, true to the people who she's serving.
So FarmPay is a financial platform that will enable farmers to be paid in real time when they sell their grain on farm. You'll be able to receive payment on that same day.
It'd be quite handy, I'd imagine, because they'd be comfortable knowing or selling to someone knowing they're going to get paid straight away.
A lot of these founders are solving problem in a first world country, as in Australia. But what if you took this innovation and planted in a third world country or a country that's still under development? How can a solution that works for 22 million all of a sudden work for 130 million?
The more people you go and speak to, they'll say, oh, you should do this or you should do that. And I take all those ideas and we're considering them for the future. But I always bring it back to what do we need to develop initially? Let's nail that, let's nail wheat, and then absolutely let's go for the other commodities.
Time will tell us. I don't have the crystal ball to tell you whether it'll work or not.
It is possible, you know, if I can do it, it's certainly possible for somebody else, and it just really is that first step. If you believe in something, then, you know, I guess the challenge is why not? Why not go for it?
Selling is something that they're doing 24/7. If they're awake, they're selling.
In the absence of something tangible, all you can really sell is a vision and a dream.
I'm like, oh, how do we do it? Still.
This is what I'm selling. Try it, it's great.